Now we have the entire tail unit here, the tail shaft, the tail connector unit, these two blocks which hold the tail shaft in place. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws, one small screw, spacers, and also a kind of a bushing where it holds the tail belt in place. Actually, it's a kind of a roller. This roller holds the tail belt down. Now what we will do is we'll start putting this across in place, and then we'll fix it across to the tail boom. So this segment literally will cover this the tail components of the Hiller 450 V2. Alright, let's go ahead and start fixing up the tail unit now. First of all, start with the tail shaft. Fix the tail shaft, the belt, and sandwich it with the other unit. And yes, you need to put the belt through. Yeah, this is how it will fix. Now I'm going to start screwing this across over here. Well, this part doesn't have threads here. The hole here doesn't have a thread, but the thread is actually across over here. So you need to put Loctite here. There's no point putting Loctite across over here. But right now I'm not going to fix any Loctite for the time being. I just want to get this entire unit in place first, because sometimes it gets a little bit tricky to fix this entire thing. Just a couple of threads. You got your spacers in place. I'm already doing it in any case. Here you go. Yeah, this is a roller with the two bushes. Yeah, we are almost there. Yep. Yes, we have it. I'm not going to tighten it too much for the time being. Be very sure that the roller turns very smoothly. If not, we have an issue. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. So we have the tail in place right now. I'm going to put the T connector, is the one that holds across this unit here. But of course I need to remove one of the screws here, and I'm going to fix it here. Alright, we have the tail unit in place now. I've gone ahead and placed Loctite in all the screws across where everything seems to be smooth now. The roller is quite smooth, the tail shaft is quite smooth. Now let us go ahead and start fixing across the carbon fiber vertical tail fin. This literally comes across with two small screws. This is quite easy. I'm not placing Loctite here for the time being, but I am going to do that later. Yeah, here we go. Don't forget to place Loctite. Now next part is start placing the tail pitch slider within the tail shaft. This should be smooth, absolutely smooth. In fact, it should just fall off on its own weight. Here you can see. If not, what you need to do is pick up a super smooth sandpaper, like what I showed you last time. One of these 1000 CW. Just mildly go ahead with it. Otherwise, if you have a Dremel, use a Dremel here with a bushing tool and just go very lightly across over here so that you get a very super smooth finish. Now mine came quite smooth. There's been no issues across over here. Yeah, that's perfect. So we'll go ahead and fix the tail pitch slider unit. Let me just zoom in here now. Well, I've got a kind of a small bell crank here, and also comes with a very small minute washer. Place the washer here. Gently. There we have it. There you go. Your tail pitch slider system is ready. But again, this has to be smooth. Absolutely smooth. I can see there's a little bit of friction across where I'm going to go ahead and in any case use a Dremel here in some time. I can see there's a little bit of friction here. Actually, it is binding. It is binding. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. Right now I'm just going to use sandpaper here. And pull it vertically like this. And slowly turn it, maybe half a turn. Again pull it in one unidirection, half a turn. Then clean it up with a piece of cloth. Here I got a Dremel here with me. It's a Dremel 300. I'm going to use a buffing tool. This is what I fixed across here, and I'm going to power this up and slowly run this across on the shaft, and giving the shaft a kind of half a turn, or what the better way to do is just pull out the belt a little bit loose so that there's no contact, and let the there is a bit of a touch here. Yeah, and once you start pushing it here, the shaft will start turning on its own, so there'll be a kind of a smooth finish that you will get across over here. I'm going to do that right now, and I'll come back. Yeah, I've got this right now here with me. Let me try to zoom. Go slow. Actually, when I was turning the Dremel, the shaft was turning on its own, which was good basically. So it was just rubbing around on its own very evenly, so I didn't have to do anything much. So let's fix the slider now. Absolutely smooth. So it's just falling out on its own. I'm going to go ahead and fix the tail pitch unit across over here, and I'll come back to you. Alright, I've already gone ahead and fixed the tail pitch unit across over here. Now it seems to be absolutely super silky smooth. You can have a look at this now. I think the Dremel did a decent job across over here. And yes, there is a small bush here. Don't forget to place that. Yeah, I think you can see it across over here. And apply ample amount of Loctite here. Let me try to zoom in. I hope you can see here. I've already gone ahead and applied Loctite. In fact, I've also applied a little bit on the outside so that it gives a almost close to a permanent fit. And I would say go ahead and even suggest you guys to go a little bit more stronger on the Loctite, not just 242, maybe even use something like a 272, like this, or 270. I can say this is a 270, because this actually needs a good strong hold. Because in a flight, if it comes off, frankly, it's not fun. You will see the heli spiraling around, and you will have to auto. If not go ahead, you will inevitably get in for a crash. So this unit is finished now. Now let's go ahead and start fixing across the tail rotor system. The tail rotor system is pretty simple, straightforward. It's got two bearings, one here, the other one is seated inside, and you've got a bearing holder. This goes in here, this goes in here. What you literally need to do is apply Loctite here. If not, I would suggest is go ahead and put Loctite here directly. And take the screws and go ahead and fix it. I'm going to do that right now, and you can do the same. Yes, we have the tail rotor unit in place now. Loctited here. Check for Loctite here, check for Loctite here. There's a small grub screw here. I've opened it out so that we can start pushing it inside the tail shaft. Now you can see it's all smooth, no play, no slop, pretty smooth. Now let's start fixing this across on the tail shaft. Now if you look again, or if you observe very closely, there's a kind of a small ridge here. And if you can see, let me try to zoom in. Oops, yep. Yes, here is a small ridge, and you can see a grub screw here. This grub screw will literally go and seat itself on this small ridge. Alright, okay, before I forget, now as I told you earlier, the ball link goes across in a certain fashion. Now this is the shine side of it, what we call as the B side. This is the A side. I don't know if you can, yeah, I think you can see that now with the light getting reflected. Now you can see there's a kind of a small shine around here. This is where the ball goes and fixes. So fix it in such a fashion so that the ball faces and goes across in this ball link. Alright then, I've fixed the tail rotor unit to the tail shaft. Everything seems to be smooth, and Everything seems to be working well as what I thought would be. It's pretty smooth. Now, if you have any kind of binding, check part by part. We have checked across on the tail shaft by doing Dremel. It's perfectly fine. And if there is any binding, there could be a binding across on this tail, the ball link. Now, if that's the way, we need to sit and resize the ball link, which I will come to another segment on, show you how to actually resize the ball link. But ultimately, the end point is you need to have a very smooth tail. Do not fly without a smooth tail in place. Otherwise, you'll start getting wag, etc., etc. You'll not have a good performance with your heli. And yes, there is a grub screw here, which I told you earlier. Please do not forget to put Loctite on this grub screw. Let me again zoom. Yes, do not forget to put ample amount of Loctite here, because I've seen many people not placing there. I myself, one of the earlier days, had not placed it, and the entire tail rotor unit had actually come off, and which will inevitably result in a crash. So be careful. You have to place Loctite across over here. Again, check for Loctite, because here there's again metal contact here from the screw. Open this up, check for Loctite. Open the screw up, check for Loctite. Everything should be Loctite. It has to be. Or any kind of retainer unit, retainer liquid. If not, Loctite actually is a brand name. So actually I'm sitting and promoting Loctite a lot. Now, there is also for people who require precision across on this tail pitch slider. At RC Bazaar, you can actually upgrade yourself to getting one of these metal tail pitch units. Let me open this for you. It's an all metal tail pitch slider. It's a kind of a push-pull system. Very nice, no slop. In fact, I think I might have fixed it to one of my helis. Let me show it across to you how it works. Yep, this is an upgraded system if you want to go ahead and move away from using a plastic. But right now the kit only comes across with a plastic. This is just for you to show how the metal system or the metal upgraded system looks like. But I think the plastic is fine for any kind of beginners. It's quite good, quite smooth, no binding. It's fine. Now let's go ahead and place this unit across in the tail boom and go to the next segment of the video.